Did you know they just let you buy scrubs? Anyone can have scrubs. You just need to go and buy them. I don't know who they would be that would stop you from buying scrubs, but there is none. They just let you do it. To explain why I bought scrubs, first we need to go back to early 2024 when Australia found out that one of our national heroes was being charged with racial abuse. Now, Australia loves sport. If you consider only the things that happen above the ground and not the things that are ripped out of it, sport is our number one export. Our women's soccer team, the Matildas, had just had a stellar run at the 2023 FIFA World Cup. Their semi-final against England had been viewed by 11 million people across the country, the highest viewed television event in Australian history, just beating out the 2020 Masked Singer finale between Hugh Jackman in a koala mask and Bindi Irwin in a Hugh Jackman mask. Now, the captain of the Matildas, Sam Kerr, is the GOAT. Literally, she is the highest scoring soccer player of Australian history. And she just so happens to be a queer woman of colour. So for a brief moment there, the entire country was rallying, united behind Sam Kerr. From the gem miners of Coober Pedy to the gem healers of Bondi Beach, blue collar or blue hair, we were all holding our breath for Sam Kerr and the Tillies. And then this January, the shocking news breaks that Samantha Kerr has been charged with racially aggravated harassment in the UK. And we held our breath again. Football Australia started distancing themselves. First we've heard of it. Orthodontists around the country felt a rush of joy as millions of jaws clenched in unison. Had we backed the wrong horse again? Rolf Harris was a beloved artist and children's entertainer. He was knighted by the Queen, and then he was charged with multiple counts of indecent assault against victims aged 8 to 19. Ben Robert Smith was Australia's most decorated soldier. He received our highest military honour and then was found to have committed war crimes in Afghanistan. And the Veronicas, who were a chart-topping pop duo made up of twin sisters, who decimated the music industry worldwide when they released the objectively perfect song Untouched. Would Sam Kerr be just another in a long line of Australian Icaruses, or as we call them, Icos? We soon learned that the altercation happened in a UK town called Twickenham, which sounds a little bit too charming Dickensian village for anything too salacious to have happened there, if you ask me. But allegedly, Sam Kerr was drunk, vomited in a taxi, disputed the cab fare, and then had some sort of altercation with a police officer that ended with her calling the police officer a, quote, stupid white bastard. Kerr has since denied this, saying that she actually said stupid white cop, which to me sounds like a matter of simplifying your equations, but these things matter in the eyes of the law. Now, some of us breathed a sigh of relief when we heard that this was the racial abuse in question. Some people saw Kerr as even more of a hero, and some people were none too pleased. Right on schedule, we get a whole new bad faith argument from the heads in the sand that brought you, sure, Indigenous men are 17 times more likely to be in jail than the rest of us, but allocating them any specific funding to investigate that would be racist. Imagine if Sam Kerr said this to a black person. Oh, so only some races get to be protected from racism. Right-wingers pounced on the phrase stupid white bastard, calling it a racial slur. The kind of racial slur that you're happy to repeat again and again and again and again. They were clearly trying to rile up white people and get us all offended and feeling like we were betrayed by woke society. But that only really works when you have a very large, very convenient blind spot for the fact that this world was built by white people for white people. A video did the rounds at the time from a comedian named Amar Rahman, who argued that reverse racism could only exist if he had a time machine and went back to build the world in brown people's favor. I also read about Patricia Bidol Padva's definition of racism, which isn't without its own critics, but it roughly states that racism equals prejudice plus power. And that makes sense to me, right? Sure, you can be prejudiced against white people, but when you're living in a very comfy, bubble-wrapped, white privileged society, that prejudice never really hits as hard as actual racism. If two people are in the middle of the ocean and you chuck a bag of cement at each of them, that bag of cement is a lot easier to deal with for the person who has inherited a system that makes it easy for them to survive in the middle of the ocean. Like a boat. Sure, it's not great to throw bags of cement at people, but it's going to do a lot more harm to the person who's swimming along without a boat. And this same conversation comes up time and time again, whether it's talking about DEI initiatives, equal opportunity hiring, or even representation in the media. The overall context of this extremely white world that we live in is deliberately overlooked, and white conservatives get so excited to finally blow their whistle and slap someone with the racist card, just like they did with Sam Kerr. And while they do it, they bring out a med team for those poor, defenseless, fragile white victims, like that police officer in Twickenham, who has been so savagely injured by these racist words. So then I bought some scrubs and sang a little song about it. Doctor, it's a worrying case. The patient says he's been victimized based on his race. Oh my, I'll see him right away. Show me the chart. The patient is a white male. I'll stop you right there. Did he claim reverse racism? Yeah. My, this man is sick. I hereby diagnose him with white fragility. Did his racism get called out? Was white privilege talked about? He saw the trailer for a film with a BIPOC lead and immediately fell to white fragility. Do you know what racism is?
Yeah.
Systems of power plus prejudice.
What?
Take 50 cc's of noticing all the white people in power of the world we live in. Stat.